Hi, and welcome to our closing session. I am beyond delighted with how this retreat has gone. I just can't even tell you guys, first of all, how proud I am of you for investing into your own writing ministry by being here. I have heard from our acquisition agents that they have had just the best time with you in one-on-ones. And even a couple of them have told me just the caliber, the quality of writers that we have here is just blowing them away. So congratulations on being just this awesome, amazing group of writers that I know you are, but it's always good to hear it from outside perspectives as well. Right now, for the next few minutes, I am going to take you through a program we are going to call this program just editing strategies. And I'm super excited to just walk you through this because when you're working on your book, you need to know that it is not just a solo endeavor, that you're not just sitting there by yourself and it's always just going to be you and the paper. You want to know that there's going to have to be other people involved, or else you have to learn to be a pro at all of this. And even then, I encourage you to hire outside editors, because every set of eyes that you let see your book before it goes to publication will make it a better book. So I want to take you through just these different kinds of insights about editing. First, we're going to tackle the concepts and then the types. And also, you can just grab your freebie down below, because that's going to help you so much. I want to start just by mentioning to you the giant. Oops, I removed the wrong thing here. And this is all from my book. But I want to just read you this first little part here, because sorry, I should have it open. Okay, so my first book came out. After watching me do a cooking segment, it was a cookbook, a kitchen shortcuts book. There, I got it. After watching me do a cooking segment on TV one day, a test kitchen employee for Betty Crocker stopped by my table at a local bookstore. I was signing the copy she'd bought with her when she said, "I've read your book. I love it. It only had 3 typos." So that book had been put through the paces by a big New York publisher. Yet 3 typos survived to remind us that even they are human. No matter how hard you try, you may not be able to get a perfect book, but I am going to tell you that if you don't work very hard on your editing, your book cannot soar to the levels that it should be able to soar to, because people just won't tolerate it. They really want to be able to relax and read your book. So let's go ahead and go through these. We're going to go through, the first one is redundancy. Have you shared the same concept more than once? And it's not that you shouldn't do that, but if you do, you need to make a note about the previous mention. So if you mentioned that you were a twin early in the story and it comes up again, you shouldn't say, "I'm a twin," and leave it at that, because you've already told us that. You need to say something like, "As mentioned before," or somehow pull it together so that the reader feels like you know what's going on in your own book. Try not to be redundant unless it's a point you're trying to drive home. And if you need to be redundant, make sure to cite the previous mention. The order of your book. Does the content work as it's arranged? I can't even tell you how many times my books go through renditions, like totally having to change the order. I think with the first book, it was like 4 times that the complete order of the book changed. And sometimes that is the killing piece of a book. It's not in the right order. So make sure that it's in the right order, and always be asking this question: would a different flow help the reader? Because if it would, change it. Next is balance. Do your chapters feel equally weighted? And have you broken down or combined any extremes? So for example, in a 12-chapter book, all of the chapters need to be about the same length. You don't want to have a 6-page chapter followed by a 37-page chapter followed by a 12-page chapter followed by a 72-page chapter. The balance of the book should keep the reader feeling like they're safe. And I can't even tell you how much of this is a subconscious thing that's happening. Why the editing is so important is very subconscious. If you have a bunch of things that are wrong with your book and people are going through it, they lose trust in you. They don't mean to. They don't sit there and say, "I wonder if I could trust this person." They don't think that. It's subconscious. They think subconsciously, if she can't take the time to edit it, if she can't take the time to make it easy to read, if she can't take the time to get it in the right order or not repeat herself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? So that's why I always say, if you want more than your closest friends and your family or your relatives to buy your book, editing is the key. And even for the sake of family and friends, edit, edit, edit. Okay, watch for patterns. Have you maintained a clear pattern throughout? If most of your chapter titles begin with a verb, all of them should begin with a verb. If you have chapters that begin with a quote at the top, retain that consistency. Watch for patterns. And when you find a good pattern that works for you, make it work all the way throughout. Citations. Decide how you are going to notate your citations and where to put your reference notes. Always do it the same way. This is so important that you aren't being random. And one of the things that I teach in eBooks Idea to Amazon, and you guys can get this free as a download right here. This book I literally published in 13 days from the day that I knew I was going to write it. I had gotten invited to speak pinch hit at 7 locations to teach how to write ebooks. And I had to really get caught up because I hadn't even published an ebook since Amazon Kindle came out at the time. It was early days. So anyway, this book is super helpful for every aspect of writing. And it's going to be a great tool for you to go back through and make sure that your book is ready to go before you send it in for publish or for even somebody to look at. These are the things that I do before I ever let anybody look at it. Now, the proofreading, the proofreading is what you want to do in order to get somebody to read it. And then after that, these are like the higher end editing that still has to happen before you put it out to the public. So proofreading is to identify and correct typos, punctuation, misspelled words, inconsistencies in the formatting. Much of this can be accomplished with an online editing tool. And again, the reason that you want to personally proofread it before you send it to anybody else is because that's what gets you in the door for somebody else to look at it with a critical eye to edit it further. Don't ever think you're going to walk in and they're going to just go perfect as is, stamp, out it goes. It's not going to happen. The more eyes that see it, the better it gets. And you just simply cannot be the whole team just in your head, even in your head with Jesus. And a lot of new writers tell me, I just couldn't bear for them to change anything. And that's the maybe the blessing and curse of being a newbie is that you just think how God gave it to you is how it's supposed to be. But if you look at all the stories in the Bible, people don't do it by themselves. They don't. They do it in body life. I think God, that's what I call collaboration. And I think that's what God calls body life. So get people to help you. But before you even ask anybody to help you, you do the first part of the proofreading. They'll do it again, but you start there. Now we've still got some more editing to go. The copy editor is going to proof for it all on the previous list, plus identify errors in capitalization, word usage, and tone. The full scale editor is going to this is sometimes called hard, heavy development or substantive editing. They're going to edit for overall congruence. They are going to report on readability, believability, consistency. They are going to note any red flags, any unnecessary repetition, cumbersome phraseology, and other writing death traps. So full scale editing is so important for us to have and get done. Next is the formatter, and they tackle the nuts and bolts like page margins, line spacing, indentation, endnotes, heading sizes, references, and citations. And I'm just going to tell you that when I begin to do a book project, I decide on all of those things before I ever start writing. I just go spend some time in a bookstore or in the library at the recent release shelf. Don't look at the older books. Look at what's hot right now. And then lay that out. So I know before I begin how my chapter page is going to look. The beginning of each chapter, how do I want that page to look? What's the indentation of the first paragraph compared to every other paragraph? Are my bullet lists going to be in how far and how much? And every time I have a subtitle in the chapter, how that's going to be? How are my citations going to be? I have this laid out before I begin. And I tell you what, it saves you. If you're doing it yourself, saves you a ton on the formatting costs later on. to have a consistent process. It'll still take someone time to format it perfectly, but you will give them a head start. And this is what a professional editor, a format editor, will do for you, is make sure that everything like that is perfectly set up. All right, technical editing. They are going to come in and check your facts. These are going to be the whistleblowers. They're going to call foul if you don't have something right. They're the ones that can spot an exaggeration a mile away. They test everything. They test recipes. They test computer codes. They test everything that can be tested so readers do not get stuck with a failure when attempting to describe process. I want you to know that the technical editor, like for me with my cookbook, the New York publishing house, St. Martin's Press, that put that out, they tested those recipes and in fact came back. They had if you can believe this, in 1996 when that came out, so probably 1995 or so, they had a huge long meeting with a bunch of them in their kitchen department who were deciding how we were going to spell the word chili. Because it's spelled different ways. And this was a big thing to them. How do we spell the word chili? All throughout the book. They tested recipes. They actually came back and said, we need to add these 2 recipes because the book is not complete without it. You're going to find that the more people you have look at this and work on it with you, the better it gets. All right. Finally, that is the end then of those. I want to just quick go back and remind you of the different kinds. So we have the conceptual editing, and then we have the types of other editing types. And it's important for you to recognize all of those and just value all of those. Those are all found in chapter 6 of this book. Chapter 8 of this book is my favorite chapter. And I asked Kathleen Cruel, who had retired at that time, if I could consolidate her whole book, which was my favorite book for going to, when I was writing a book, it was the 12 steps to getting in print. And she just went through as an editor, every last thing she checked to consider a book. And so what you can do now in chapter 8 is you can go through every last step that an editor would check before they would say yes to your book. And you can make sure that your book hits all of those. Remember that you are writing for 3 audiences. You're writing for the reader. That's the final audience. In between times then, originally, you're writing for the publishing house. You are writing a book that they can say, I want to put my money behind this because this is going to be a bestseller. This book is great. And so you want to write so well that they can hardly wait to sign you. And then the middle group right there that you're writing for is the media. You want to have your book be so quotable, so important, so necessary to people's lives, so riveting, whatever it is, that the media can't wait to interview you and ask you questions and dive deep into, that thing you said on page 92. Where did that come from? Tell us the backstory about that. You want this to be so amazing that people can hardly wait to get you. And I'm telling you, editing is the path. You've got to get the words on paper, but then don't just send it off. Spend some time really being a pro. Go through it. Karen Porter, in session number 1 of this retreat, talked about after decades of writing multiple books and publishing over 400 books for other people, she spent hours going line by line and word by word through an article she was writing. Take it seriously, do your best, and let's see what God is going to do. All right, that concludes this session, I think. Yep, we talked about the key concepts, redundancy, order balance, patterns and citations. Then we talked about the types and terminology, proofreaders, copy editors, full scale formatting, technical editors, and you can get your free copy. So yes, indeed, we have completed it all. At this point, I'd like to bring Victoria on. Hi, darling. I can't hear you yet, so you might be muted. That's me muting you. There we go.
Hi.
Aww. So I know you've been over in the chat a little bit during this session. Is there anything you need to hit on here in a minute before we move forward?
I don't think so.
Hey, awesome.
Everyone loves it. So yeah, good info. Yeah.
Great. Good deal. All right, you guys, this has just been an amazing week. I could not be more pleased with how this went. Mm-hmm. Victoria and I worked hard before we started to put together a contest for you, and nobody found it until I think really like last night. Maybe it was yesterday midday.
Yeah.
No. It was last night because it was after the drawing. It was after the drawing yesterday. And now we have some contestants in there. So exciting. So we get to do a drawing.
During the afternoon, people signed up, but they hadn't done the actions yet until after. They couldn't do it until after the retreat was done.
Until the evening, right? Yeah. So anyway, some of you have been really going to town. I tell you what, we have one goal getter that's just been really on it all day. And some of you who have tried it and participated, but I just want to say thank you to all of you who are here, who invested the time to be here. To those of you who upgraded and helped support this financially, thank you so much. Victoria, thank you. So grateful, so grateful for all your help. And I have a whole team back here who's helping. And you guys, I know that you have found, if you have reached out for help, you have found that they have been super responsive. And so grateful for that. And of course, we love Hay Summit as our platform to host these events. And we have another one coming right up. Victoria, can you throw that screen up there with the summit that's coming?
Oh, yes.
We've got this coming now on May 6th. And you can go over and register for that right now, marketinggodsway.com. And this is available, again, just like this one, for free to join live for the sessions. It's all on one afternoon. Okay, you can pull that off. It's all on one afternoon and 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. And you are going to get the amazing strategies that are going to help you really reach more people through your social outreach. Okay, we do have a contest that's going online there too at the same time. Maybe Victoria, I'll pull you down so you can go ahead and add these things over at the others. So we're on StreamYard live with you right now. This is actually live. This can't be pre-recorded because we're doing the drawings and stuff. Victoria's going to hop in the chat with you there and put these posts in there. We have a contest that is going on over for that one that is just kind of now gaining some momentum. We've gotten a bunch of nominations in so far, but we could use yours. So the categories are for the Hidden Treasure Awards. The categories are Best Instagram Page of the Year, LinkedIn Profile of the Year, Facebook Page or Profile of the Year, and Podcast of the Year. Oh, wait, it's not podcast. It's a YouTube channel. I think we're going to do podcasts next year. Anyway, you want to go over there and you want to nominate your favorite. It has to be a growing channel instead of a humongous channel. The humongous channels already have awards for them, but sometimes when you're just starting, it's a little harder. So we want you to totally know that we are there for you and with you. And so the winners will receive inclusion in all the publicity, also an live interview with me about their award and the topic, and then also a $500 value award. And we will love to see you at the Well with a free ticket there and have dinner with you. So that will be so fun. Anyway, you can register now for that summit and also nominate anybody that you would like to over there. All right, next we have, this is our grand prize winners set for today. Maybe we'll try to bring you back on. So whoever wins the grand prize right now, you get a $100 Amazon gift card, plus you get the full value Well ticket for $475 value to get into the Well. Victoria is the director of the Well. I've been participating in the Well for many years. One of my favorite conferences for writers and speakers and really creatives of any kind. You're going to just love the heart of this conference as well as all the incredible training and connection opportunities. It runs from June 5th through 7th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so if you want to learn more about that, go seeyouatthewell.net, www.seeyouatthewell.net. And also, I think that's it. Now we get to draw. So hang on one second. All right. Oh boy. So just a second. I want to do something first just because I'm excited about this.
Okay.
All right. There we go. Now we're in the mood. Now we're in the mood to see who wins the grand prize. And let's see. Oh my goodness, Michelle, that's just incredible. Wow. Okay, Michelle is like a multi-published author. She's just a delightful person, and you could see from the chat there she had really invested into sharing this out. Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing so freely with so many people and for being here. And I'm just so excited you won. Yay.
Well, I think that she had mentioned something to me months ago about how she, in Messenger, how she would love to come to the well. And then when I saw her name on the roster, I was like, oh, she's really wanting to come.
And I'm so excited because I know Michelle, but I've never been able to sit down and have a conversation with her. So I get to have dinner with Michelle at the well too. So it's going to be so amazing. Oh, great.
So exciting.
Of course, Michelle, if you cannot come, you do get to give that ticket away. But both Victoria and I are rooting for you. Try to come. Yeah. We're just going to encourage you all to come to the Well Conference if you can. It is just so well worth your time. I know it's a lot of time, travel, all of that, but it is worth it. You will never regret going.
And you have a coupon code.
Oh yes, right. Tell them. Yeah, tell them.
You have Marnie 50.
Okay, yeah.
It's off registration.
Use that code. And then too, if you do register, check. I think it's at Marnie. If you haven't joined my mentorship program yet, do that over at Marnie.com. It's free to get in. Just go to the top, the little head on there, register with the email address that you've used here for the summit. And then inside, you're going to see all kinds of stuff, lots of free training, some paid stuff. But you can also find there where to enjoy a meal with me at one of those. I'm going to several conferences. The Well kind of kicks off the summer here. Then I'll be out Speak Up as well, which is for Christian women speakers and writers. And I'll be ASA, the Advanced Writers and Speakers Conference. So if you are going to be at any of those, I would love to share a meal with you. At least for sure, hug your neck. If you see me somewhere, come over and say hi. I would love to meet you in person.
I'm so excited you'll be at all of those. I will be too.
Oh, that's so fun. That's so fun. So Victoria and I get to work together in the background a couple hours a week, and that's just amazing. Those of you who are wondering, if when it's time to bring in an assistant, when it's time, you're going to know, because you're going to feel like, I can't do it all. I'm saying yes to God every single time, and I can't do it all. And when you hit that point, just ask God, okay, how do you want to help me move forward? At the Well, and I wasn't even thinking this when I started to say that, but at the Well, the preview day on Thursday, I'm doing a whole, is it 3 hours? I think it's 3 hours.
Yes, 3 hours.
Program on how to find and hire outsourcers using Upwork. I have hired hundreds of outsourcers around the world. My team hails from all over the world. I've got gals from everywhere and guys from all over the world also that help me with this, and I find them through Upwork. And then of course sometimes I have someone in the US that helps me. Victoria helps me. I have an editor. I have my podcast booker. All those people are in the US. So just know when it's time for you to add. I didn't start with anybody. I started just the same way as you. And when it's time to add, you'll know, and God will help you to go forward. All right, Victoria, any other thoughts from you?
Actually, I did want to say one thing with the Well Conference, that there is that Marnie 50 coupon, but we have a monthly Splash of the Well, and we always give a coupon out on that as well. And you can double up on the coupons. So if anyone out there follows the Well Ministry for Creatives or see you at the Well on Instagram, you can find the code for the Splash of the Well. That's a $50 code also, and you can use both. Wow. So that's $100 off registration.
Would the best place to be to start seeyouatthewell.net? Are they going to find the Splash there, or was it the Facebook group?
Yes, the next one we just posted. It's going to be music. So we're doing a virtual music Splash of the Well for the first time. We've not done music before. We have a new faculty member, Cherry Boardman, and she is amazing. And she is going to do a live music and healing Splash of the Well.
That sounds
it's going to be beautiful.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to go ahead and post that in the notes over there. I want you guys to know that my favorite verse in the Bible, I have so many favorite verses in the Bible, but the one that is my theme verse for life is 2 Corinthians 9:8. And I like it, especially in the Marnie version, based on the, let's see, the NLT, I think it is. And it goes like this: God is able to make all grace abound toward you, so that in all things, at all times, having everything you need, you may abound in every good work. I think I like it the best because of all the superlatives. You know, we can do it pretty good some of the time, maybe, hopefully. And God can do it all the time, every time, abounding, abundance. And I just encourage you that when you feel like you're not enough, remember who is enough. One night, when we owned the restaurant and retail store, and I was managing women speakers and homeschooling my kids, it was so intense and it was crazy. And we did that for 14 years. And I fell into bed one night, and I just looked up. It was dark, but I looked up and I just said, God, it's all out of control. And I remember hearing in my heart, out of whose control, Marnie? Out of whose control? And I realized in that moment, right, while it felt like it was all out of control, God was always in control, and everything was going to be all right. So I encourage you that when it feels like it's all out of control and you don't even know what to do next or whatever, don't worry. Don't worry. God's got you. And all of our journeys, you have heard this over and over, especially in the opening session interviews, how the journey didn't look like what we thought. So many no's, so many waits, so many changes, so many things that we didn't anticipate at all. But God is so good and he's so faithful. So I just encourage you to just hold on to Jesus. Hold on to Jesus. Just look him in the eyes. Go sit on Papa's lap and just let him lead you around. We are going to bring this thing in for a landing here. Victoria, again, thank you so much. Do you have just a closing thought or a scripture for everybody?
Oh, well, what comes to mind is just to continually seek God in it. I have spent times not knowing what to write, not knowing what to prepare for a talk. And I have gone into my private prayer closet and said, God, I'm saying yes because you put that on my heart to say yes. And I have literally walked out 45 minutes later with my complete talk written.
Yeah, right. Right.
And he does that. And I have not experienced that yet with writing because I have not really applied it to writing, but I'm so excited after this retreat to apply it to my writing because he's done it with me preparing talks, but I don't quiet myself and rest in him enough when it comes to my writing. Now, journaling I do, but actually to take that journaling and turn it into writing.
Yeah.
For a project, I have not. And so I'm so inspired by all of the trainers to actually do that and apply it because he's so good. He will do it.
I loved when Carol McLeod said, and read your Bible listening, because she said so many times what comes out of her mouth is when somebody says to her, where'd you get the idea for that book? And she said, well, I was reading the Bible one day. And you know, it speaks, God speaks, the word speaks. Yes. So listen. Yes. Oh, you guys, this has been absolutely amazing. We are going to be sending out a follow-up email to you, including the winner and a few other details. And if you have enjoyed this and you would be willing to share just a testimonial, just a sentence or maybe 2 sentences about what you enjoyed, and that will really help encourage other writers to attend next year. And we would love to put your name on that as a quote from you. So if you feel like that, just reply to the email we're going to send out here in a few minutes. And just know we are so blessed to get to share this with you. What a fun time. And thank you so much for investing in yourself, in your ministry, and into God's calling on your life. God bless you.